Now we have another muscles, another group muscle which called deep group of muscle, with the last group, deep group of muscle of neck, deep group muscle of neck. Okay, muscle of neck is next already right. Okay, we have 4 muscle in deep group muscles. Okay, first I will write the 4 muscles and then I will show to there. Okay, in the diagram. First muscle we have longus capitis muscle, okay. Second we have longus coli muscle, and longus coli muscle we have 3 part. Okay, then third muscle we have rectus capitis, anterior muscle. Fourth one we have rectus capitis, lateral muscle or lateralis muscle. Okay, now we will going to discuss these 4 muscle in the deep group of muscle of the neck. Okay, these are the diagram. Okay, these are the back view of or posterior view of the neck. Okay, now we will going to discuss each muscle origin and insertion and is from where to where. Okay, first muscle which we write this, we have longus, means longus capitis muscle, capitis from the head here. Okay, longus capitis muscle. We will talk about the origin and insertion. First we will look here. It's originates from C3 to C6 transverse process. Okay, it's mean transverse process of C3 to C6 cervical vertebra. Okay, and insert into the basilar part of occipital bone. Okay, if you remember, this is we repeat many times. Okay, cervical vertebra, and you know which what is the transverse process of the cervical vertebra and where is. Okay, it's always located laterally. Okay, in the vertebra. And basilar part, you know, when we discuss the occipital bone, then you know where is located the basilar part of occipital bone. Okay, now we already write origin from C3 to C6 transverse process. Now we learn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, it means this is a transverse process of what? Transverse process of cervical vertebra. Okay, these are the muscle, and here the basilar part which they are inserted. Okay, this the muscle names is what? This muscle names longus capitis muscle. Okay, origin from C3 to C6 cervical vertebra, transverse process, and inserted into the basilar part of the what? Occipital bone, because this is occipital bone and this hydra foramen magnum. Okay, these are origin and insertion of this muscle. And function, if you will talk about the function of this muscle is help in flexation of neck. Okay, flexation of neck. Okay, these are this muscle, longus capitis muscle. Okay, these are the first muscle. Then we have the second muscle. Okay, which we have 3 parts. The second muscle we have longus coli muscle. 3 parts. First part superior oblique. Second we have vertical. Third one we have inferior oblique. Okay, now we will talk origin and insertion of different points. Okay, origin and insertion of each part. First, superior oblique muscle. Superior oblique part of the longus coli muscle originated from where? From transverse process of C3 to C5. Okay, and inserted into the anterior tubercle of C1. Now I will show this origin and insertion of the only superior oblique part. Okay, we will talk superior oblique part, which origin transfer process of C3 and C5. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the muscle which have origin from these three and inserted into where? This is the where inserted, and this muscle inserted here to the tubercle from the front. Okay, from the front they are going to originate it from the, if you remember, atlas. Okay, these are the atlas muscle we have here in atlas vertebra. We have anterior tubercle, posterior tubercle, and this is the transfer process both side. Okay, and here we have facet for dens. Okay, I write interior tubercle of C1 or atlas. Okay, this only the superior part I told. Okay, superior oblique part of the longus capitis muscle, which originated from the transverse process of C3 to C5. Okay, and inserted into the anterior tubercle of the atlas. Okay, now we will talk about the second vertical part. Vertical part was originated from the C5 to T3, means C5 cervical vertebra till third thoracic vertebra. But what part of vertebra? Body. Means origination of the vertical part of longus capitis, origination from the body of C5 cervical vertebra till 3 thoracic vertebra origination, and inserted into the where? Inserted into the C2 to C5, C2 to C4 body of cervical vertebra. Okay, now origination from one C5, C2, C6, C7. Okay, then we have T1, T2, and T3. This origin of the vertical part. Okay, vertical part. Now vertical part where we inserted, which I told where we inserted C2 to, here the C2 means here C2 to C4. We inserted here C2 to C4. This muscle. This is like this, like in oblique form. Okay, you can see this. That's why it's called oblique. And this is the vertical, and this is the oblique. This one. Okay, these are the muscle which had the vertical part, which originated from C5 cervical vertebra till third thoracic vertebra body, and inserted into the C2 to C4 vertebral body. Okay, now if you will talk inferior oblique part. Inferior oblique part here, is from continue from T3 to T6 body of thoracic vertebra, and inserted into the where? C5 to C6 body of the cervical vertebra. Okay, now T3 to C6. T3 we already discussed. This is a, if we will continue like this is a C3 and C5, C6, C5, C6. Okay, it means its origination from here to, this is origination. Okay, and this origination going from C5 to C6 and C7. Okay, and sometimes C5, 6, 7, in some in tall, but actually it's C6. Okay, these are these muscle. This is the inferior oblique muscle, like this in oblique form. Okay, now we already told, again I am repeating the same longus capitis muscle. We have three parts: superior oblique part, which transfer process of the C3 to C5 and insert into the anterior tubercle of the atlas. Okay, then with the vertical part, which originated from C5 to till 3 third thoracic vertebra here, and insert into the C2 to C4 body. Then we have inferior oblique part, we from T3 to T6, and inserted C5 to C6 body of the cervical vertebra. Okay, now these are the second muscle. Now we have fourth muscle. I said third muscle, its name's rectus. Third muscle, rectus capitis, anterior. Okay, rectus capitis anterior. If you remember, if you talk about the origin and insertion, do you remember the this the atlas? Okay, this is anterior tubercle and this is a posterior tubercle, and here we have in the place of body, in atlas we have no body, but in the place of body we have lateral masses, two lateral masses. Okay, if you will talk about the rectus capitis anterior muscle, it means its origination from lateral masses of atlas, lateral masses of atlas means C1, we are talking about C1. Okay, and inserted into the here is from here, from the mid side they are inserted and going to basilar part, and if you will talk about inserted, it means basilar part of the occipital bone. And this also help in the flexation of the neck, function of this muscle. Okay, these are the very simple rectus capitis anterior muscle, origination from lateral muscle of the atlas C1 and inserted into the basilar part of the occipital bone. If you remember the bone, you will know about the part. Okay, then we have the fourth muscle of the deep group of neck muscle. Okay, we have rectus capitis anterior, rectus capitis lateral muscle. Okay, if you talk about origin and insertion. Okay, now I already draw you, I think you know the structure of the C1. Okay, this is C1, again I draw. Okay, and this is a transverse process of the C1 vertebra. Okay, its origination from the rectus capitis lateralis muscle, origination from the transverse process of the C1 or atlas cervical vertebra and inserted where, means if he is here is here is the transfer process of the atlas, he are inserted from here. Okay, and going to the here we have lateral part of the occipital bone. If you talk, I would draw the foramen magnum, and here we have on the upper side we have occipital condyles, and here condylar fossa, and here continue to the basilar part. Okay, these are the basilar part. If you talk about the occipital bone, it means its origination from atlas, transverse process of the atlas, and coming here into the to the lateral part of the because we capitis muscle discussing, and he inserted into here, and here we have atlas. This is a transverse process. It means origin from the left transverse process and inserted into the lateral part of the occipital bone. Simply lateral part of occipital bone. Okay, these are the four muscle of the deep group of muscle of the neck which we discussed. First muscle we have discussed longus capitis muscle, which we have origin and insertion from C3 to C6 and inserted into the basal part of the occipital bone. Then we discussed the longus coli muscle, which have three parts: superior oblique muscle, superior oblique part, vertical part, and inferior oblique part, and we discussed each part origin and insertion. Then we have rectus capitis anterior, and then the fourth one we have rectus capitis lateralis muscle. Okay, we discuss about the origin and insertion. If I already told, if you again I repeating the same things. If the bone is very important, if you will know about the bone formations, okay, and parts, then for your understanding you easily memorize the origin and insertion of the muscle. Okay, thank you for watching.